Provenance is the development over on the west side of the Purdue campus. It's the Discovery Park District, the Airport District. This was originally, like where married student housing stood. There is now a bunch of development there right along State Street, along Mitch Daniels Boulevard, if you will. There are some apartments. There is now the first and I believe second phase of Provenance is single family homes. We talked about it. I think we've talked about it a couple of times now that the developer, Old Town companies, want to rezone, want to change the project in the next phase of what was originally supposed to be single family homes and change it into a mixed-use development that includes rentals. On the face of it, this is good. We need more housing. We need more beds. But a lot of people have paid a lot of money for these single-family homes. The homes in this development are well above the median here in the market, even in West Lafayette. These are people with some deep Purdue affinity, typically the kind of pockets that come along with somebody who is perhaps successful with a Purdue engineering degree or some other connection to Purdue in that way. And they are very, very concerned about protecting their property values and protecting the investment that they originally bought into and what they were promised in the future phases. And now Old Town Development is saying, and has been before the Area Plan Commission and before the city of West Lafayette, and has been approved to rezone for rentals. So they're going to put up brownstones, and they're going to be 2- and 3-story brownstones that are going to be available to rent. It's approximately 10 acres, just under 10 acres in phases 3, 4, and 5. Going to increase the residential density up to 197 units. If you had bought house number 1, 2, or 3 and you were promised that you were going to be in this giant neighborhood of relatively expensive homes, and now you have a bunch of potential student rentals moving in next door to you, might you be concerned? Maybe. You certainly might be. You certainly can understand where their concern comes from. So they had gone before area plan, and it has now been passed, and this is happening. Now, what's interesting is some of this development was originally supposed to be condos, not in this exact plot. And Old Town keeps talking about how they have trouble. They've been having trouble selling things. And I think my reading of the situation is they have seriously misread the market. But Geoff, how can that be? We're really saying both things here. We got these people that have bought into these above median price homes and they can't sell. Here's what I think is going on. I think the homeowners who have bought in at these high prices have the deep pockets to be able to do that. And I believe there are still more of them out there. But I think the alternative product that they wanted to sell and backed away from and are now bringing online as apartments were priced higher than that segment was willing to pay. Condos are supposed to be a slightly more budget-friendly way to get into home ownership, and the condos that they were offering for sale were not that. Now, they already have a series of apartments there on State Street that were part of this development. I need to dig in the numbers and see what their median rents are, but I believe they're high, but I think that Purdue Student Housing is involved in that in master leases somehow. So it will be interesting to see. Now, don't get me wrong. Things like Hub and all these other high rises, and there are more coming, more than I've went through some zoning meeting minutes, and there are a couple more. What in West Lafayette these days passes for a medium-sized development in addition to the giant Chauncey Hill Mall development that are coming. So those studios are going for $1,900, $2,000. They're getting it. So they'll be able to get the rents, I think. It's interesting that they can get the rents, but they couldn't get the condo prices. So that's going on. That happened. It passed. It passed by a majority. 10-5 passed. 10-5 area plan commissions. So that's not all happening immediately, of course. That's for future development, but that'll come online, I think, fairly quickly. I think Old Town wants to start turning a profit here. Related to that, and this is not a new development, last year or the year before, Area Plan added a new zoning type, R1T, and this is T for townhouse, so it's residential zoning with townhouse, and it has specific requirements and building codes, drawing a blank here today, about how this is going to do, but it's really based on infill. This is going into lots in the already developed areas of Lafayette and West Lafayette and allowing multi-unit developments to go into smaller lots that in the past might have only been single-family homes. So you can get a duplex or a quad townhouse setup. So that happened last year or the year before, and we have seen a few of those products come online and go for sale and sell, and they are commanding a healthy price as well. So it's helping to get more product into the market, but it is probably not helping to drive prices down. And the reality is that we're not going to drop prices down. What hopefully is going to eventually happen is that the price increases will slow down a little bit and incomes will rise, and that will close the gap a little bit. But here in the market, here in the Greater Lafayette area, there's no signs of a slowing market, much less a retreating market.